So I've been having water come in underneath my metal building when it rains, and that's completely normal. I read the contract when I got the shop built that they're not responsible for that because of like foundation issues not being level, whatever. No big deal. I bought like silicone, and I'm gonna put silicone all the way along all the exteriors, and then I bought this threshold gap. It comes in 20-foot sections, and I was able to cut it with scissors, and I've already kind of laid it out in the sunlight because it's like 50 degrees today. Rubber doesn't like cool weather, so I laid it out to kind of get it warm so I could kind of stretch it out or whatever. I've already kind of got this one in place. I haven't glued it yet. I'm going to glue it with this caulk, this Gorilla heavy duty construction adhesive. And what you do, you pretty much just get it where you want it, put the door down on it, make sure it's lined up where you want it and everything. You get a pencil, you mark on both edges so you can get it lined back up, flip it over, glue it, and then lay it back down to the pencil marks, then set your door back down on it. And you're supposed to leave it shut for 24 hours. I don't know if I'm going to give it a full 24 hours because I have to work and whatever, but that's the idea. Sure, if you saw how many markers and pencils I went through, but I went through about 6 Sharpies, and I started out with pencils, and I drew my first 2 sets of lines, and then I went to blow it off because you gotta have this stuff really clean. So anyways, I blew it off, and I blew the lead or graphite from the pencil right off. So then I had to go back over it with markers. See my lines there. And I use 2 markers per, I use pretty much 1 marker per line, so I use 6 markers total. Now I've got the stuff flipped over. It's really important to have this stuff clean. I blew all the dust and rocks and whatever off of it, and I bought 3 tubes of caulk. I shoved this a while ago, but 3 tubes of this stuff, and I'm pretty much just going to use a full tube per strip. I'm going to put a tube on it, flip it over, get it in place between those lines, and then I'm going to close the door and get as much tension on that as I can, you know, to get it flush and pressed down. Like I said, it says it's set for 24 hours. I know I'm going to at least open one of these doors by tomorrow. So anyways, let's get this glue on there and get the door shut. Now we wait 24 hours. I think that went pretty well. I was able to get just about exactly a tube of caulk per strip. And these are 10-foot strips, so, and I didn't add more glue really than what it said. It said to do a line up the right side, a line up the left side, and a zigzag. That's what I did, and I had a little left over, so I just ran kind of a strip in the center, just, you know, to add more glue. Why not? But yeah, I don't see light coming through either of these. Here, let me get by all this stuff here. Don't see light coming through, which is a good sign because before I saw light coming through. Now we'll caulk around the whole building, and the next time it rains we should not see any water. And I think I bought too much caulk, by the way. Silicone, I mean. All those tubes I bought for this Well, not all of them. I had a lot of silicone, but then I bought more. I'll probably end up taking some of it back. But let's get this building caulked, then we'll be done with this. Well, guys, I was not anticipating that at all. I used every single tube of caulk that I had, so I'm not gonna be taking anything back. I used everything, to the last drop in the corner. I was putting it on kind of thick because the metal was off of the frame a little bit in a lot of areas. So when I was pumping it, it was actually going up and behind the wall, up and behind, which is great for water sealing or whatever. But so it was going up behind the wall, and I wanted it to kind of look even, if that makes sense. So I just put a really heavy bead all the way around. I sealed all the corners up really well, all the straight edges. The doors were sealed where we did the threshold earlier. So the water problem should be done. Where I used all my caulk or silicone at was on the back. I was not anticipating that at all because the building, the tin was off of the concrete about that far. And I actually had to run a bead of silicone, run another bead of silicone, and then run a bead of silicone up the tin part. And then I went back with my fingers and pressed it up in there. I didn't think, you can't really tell looking at it, you know what I mean? I mean, you might can in the camera, I don't know, but in person, you can't tell that it's hanging off that far. It's hanging off about that far, almost all the way, maybe a quarter way. And then in the center, it's pretty flush. And then the quarter way up this way. There's something on my camera. Oh no. Okay, that got it maybe? But anyways, if you saw, the reason I was caking it up like that, I know that's not the right way to do caulk, but the reason I was caking it up like that is because of that gap. I have like foam sealant and stuff like that, but I didn't want to spray that up in there and have a bunch of yellow crap coming out of the back of my building. But when you saw that the reason I keep tapping my camera, by the way, is because the screen keeps cutting off and I can't see if I'm looking at myself. But I used my fingers, pressed all the caulk silicone that I could up in there, and got the residual out, and it's laying on the ground in the big piles. And I got that separated from the building, and what I'm gonna do is when that dries, just go back with a rake and rake it out, because I'm gonna put more, that's recycled concrete, not gravel. It looks really cool and it's cheap too. But I'm gonna go back after I rake all the silicone out, the big chunks I'm talking about, and I'm just gonna cover it up, so I'm not really worried about it. I don't have to worry about rain anymore, or water getting in anymore, that's for sure, from the ground anyways. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope that helped. Well, you probably have enough sense. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.